Hello, hello, hello. So, we are set up here in Cartera, is the name of the place. I'm sitting in my car to do this, my new little whip, little Toyota Yaris, an automatic number, grand little thing to drive, and it's been a blessing since I've had it the last day. So, I think we're on day 3, maybe day 4. I arrived on Monday evening. Today is Friday. So, today is probably my biggest rehab and return to play session yet. The weather today is not immaculate. It was a little bit overcast. It was raining last night. I have to get out onto the pitch, and I've got the all clear to get out onto the pitch in the campus, which doesn't happen to everyone. So 4 o'clock is when my slot is scheduled for. So I'm heading there now. I'm after doing a big work block in the morning, 5-6 calls, 2 with potential new clients and 3 with current clients, and then my mentorship call, just one of the lads jumped on that as well. It was good to have a bit of a chin wag about all things game speed, all things perceptual and cognitive speed, and talk about coaching in general and how we achieve success with our athletes, how to achieve a learning effect with different teams, and how to put constraints on games to get the most out of some people and to maybe not let other people do all the work. That was positive. I'll give you some insight into today's session, which is my primary session, probably the most volume of all of the sessions in there. There's a little bit of prep, then, well, a lot of prep, then there's a bit out on the pitch, not too much, probably about 15 minutes total, and then back in for primary strength lifts and exposures then thereafter with some cluster set. We got my testing back. Al has just got back to me on everything, pretty much as expected. He said he did want reactivity to be a little bit higher, but we don't really know where that was at, because when I suffered the injury, the ACL, I was doing quite a lot of endurance training. I was doing a lot of long distance running, minimum of 1 long run a week, about 10k or so, and I wasn't getting that much exposure to plyometrics really, not that many ISOs either. So we don't know where it was at, but all we know is we need to push that ceiling up, and there's a few things I'm going to implement in the next while, which I'll give you some insight into to hopefully do that. Mobility outside in the sun. Happy out is what I'd say. I was feeling a little bit banged up and my hamstring tendinopathy was at me, as you guys know. But what we implemented is a bit more of an extensive warm-up. A combination of stuff as well as David Gray's stuff. I've been feeling all the better for it, to be honest. Knee is a little bit tender just because I've been sitting at the desk. It doesn't feel great after being in that flex position for like hours on end. But if I do this prep, I'm going to feel better than I do now. So we'll just get through this and then into the session. Plan is extensive prep, a few plyos onto the pitch, which I've got the green light for. And then following that, back in for a bit of a lift. So probably going to be 2 hours. I have been 2.5 doing this session in the past, up closer to 3. So we'll see what it takes. If I can get through everything as I did on Wednesday in the session that wasn't recorded for you guys, I'll be happy out. And I'll be happy out that I've got through it too. So I'm missing a bit of reactivity. He's added in a few ISOs, but as well as those ISOs, I think I'm going to add in my own ISOs too. More yielding stuff, holding stuff. I had great results in the past doing Jake Tura's vertical jump protocol, and in that you hold a split squat ISO daily, floating heel or no floating heel, and you hold it for upwards of 90 seconds to, I got up to 5 minutes on it, I think. So obviously it takes a bit of time to do that, but I think if I can do that and get a little bit stiffer through my lower body, there's no reason I can't absolutely smash those targets that I'm aiming for. Oh god, there's a lot to be said for just getting outside and training in the fresh air. I know it's not exactly sunny today, but it sure beats the indoors for this warm-up stuff. Get a bit of vitamin D and your ligaments, your joints, your tendons, your whole body is going to thank you for it. No vitamin D supplement while I'm out here. Maybe I should be taking one, but I'm getting quite a lot from the sun, I would say. Right, so I am finished my session. It is now almost 6:30. I arrived here at 10 to 4, got set up and started my session at 4 o'clock. I was at it a long time, and that's what's necessary, I guess, if you want to have better outcomes than most. It is difficult, given that I'm not an elite athlete, to dedicate the amount of time that I do and then still dedicate the time to running my own business. That's probably the hardest part. I still have a decent amount of programming to do today. I'm going to end up working Saturday, but that is the nature of self-employment, of entrepreneurship. Got through everything. Jumps went up on both right and left, so I'm not sure my percentage deficit has changed all that much. Got through everything. Jumps went up on both right and left, so I'm not sure my percentage deficit has changed all that much. A bit of knee pain on the back of my knee, probably from the hamstring holds. I did get through all of the work on feet. I got through my prime times, I got through my dribble bleeds, and I got through my running on the treadmill, and all of that I got done inside an hour of work. So I did a half an hour roughly of warm-up, kicked off the session then at about 5:30, and was finished all that work by say 5:30. The additional strength volume then afterwards took another probably half an hour to 40 minutes, just because it was cluster sets, so really pushing the intensity with adequate rest in between. So 8 total reps, but 2 at a time with 30-second rest in between. And as a result of that, I really got to push the intensity, but I was experiencing a little bit of patellar pain at that stage. So I'm definitely going to start my ISO protocol tomorrow, I reckon. I will say, I reckon I got through everything a lot faster here than I would at home. I end up skipping stuff at home, and all that I didn't do today was 1 set of calf raises, which is usually the thing that I miss at the end of the session anyway. And that was just because I was getting a little bit of pain at the back of my knee at that hamstring area on extension, and I reckon there is still a little bit of residual swelling around the joint, typically post-session. That is a bit of an issue. You don't want to have that. It might be acute, it might be being contributed to by both the patella pain and the hamstring insertion pain, but it's definitely not ideal. So that's something that I need to solve in the next while. I'm going to go home, going to get the Compex on me after I get something to eat here, and I'm going to sit up and watch the Masters, and then I have a day of work tomorrow ahead of me. Plus I'll probably get in here, get a session done, a low session with some uppers in there as well to boot. Maybe do a little bit of aerobic stuff as well as the ISO protocol, and then I'm going to go cold plunge sauna, and I'm going to do the same, watch the Masters again. So how bad? That's pretty much it for today. Saturday morning, I got a bit of a work block done, had a bit of programming to do this morning. I've been sitting down here at a nice little workstation outside. There's scaffolding there because there's a bit of work being done on the place, but you can see the golf courses over there. Weather isn't amazing, but it was nice to do a bit of work out in the sun. I am going to go to the campus now. I am going to get my low session done, and then I am going to do a bit of recovery. I'm going to do cold plunge and sauna, and then I'm going to hopefully get out in time to watch Munster play, and then following the Munster match I'll be sitting down to watch the Masters. Probably might get that program done today and then that presentation recorded in the morning. I had a conversation with Alan today because after I got home yesterday, my knee probably swelled up a little bit and didn't feel the best. I got the Compex on it and it started to feel a good bit better afterwards, but it still had some swelling going to bed. Now the swelling was predominantly gone by the time I got up this morning, but the back of my knee at my hamstring insertion kind of tendon was still kind of hot. So we have inferred from the last week or so that what may be flaring up my knee is more so the hamstring than the patella, and it's generally to do with any longer duration linear running. So we're going to deload from that. We're going to keep in the change of direction stuff because that's not flaring it up at all. We're going to keep in the jumping stuff, and then we're going to see this week if my symptoms are better. And if that's the case, then we still might have a little bit of work to do on the reactivity in the jumping front before getting back to the pitch. So if I wasn't a rehab professional or a sports performance professional, I would probably feel disappointed, as most of my athletes would, if it seems like you're going a step backwards. But I know that we're not really going a step backwards. We're just taking a different route with our approach to the return to play and rehab process. I will have a chat with the campus about the fact that I'm not going to be on pitch this week. See if I can save a bit of money there. But all roads, or so many different roads, lead to Rome, as they say. So it's just a small deload in one component of the rehab. It's not a complete deload. So we're not going backwards at all. We're just taking a different route. So to be honest, I'm going to get a handle on this with my recovery. And I reckon at the end of next week, we will hopefully feel a good deal better and we'll be able to get back on the pitch from there. So on to training now, back into the car, drive in the rain, get there and get it done. What's the crack? How we doing? Back from the campus, got my session done. I actually felt pretty good during the session. It was tough. I combined work from both Alan's prescription and then stuff that David Gray gave me when I went down there, and my hamstring pain pretty much is gone. And that factored in with probably the sauna and ice bath that I did afterwards, just had me feeling $1 million. Now I am absolutely knackered. I'm sitting down here now watching the Masters after having watched the second half of the Munster game here. Tough loss for Munster, but a good performance as always in Europe. And I'm watching the Masters and I just want to get out and golf. So happy with how things have progressed from this morning, probably when I had a little bit of pain. I think like having that recovery room there with the plunge pool and the sauna is just an absolute game changer. I think it's going to really help me in these next 3 weeks here, accelerate my rehab. I went with a protocol of just 5 minutes in the cold plunge and then into the sauna for 20 minutes. Not too much because I wanted to get out in time to watch Munster. In Australia, when me and my mate Sam do it, generally we go 5 minutes cold, 20 minutes sauna, 5 minutes cold, 20 minutes sauna, and then we get booted. I think there is research out there that 20 minutes 3 times a week is effective to reduce risk of cardiovascular disease. Don't quote me on that, but I think that sounds right. It could be 30 minutes rather than 20, and that's why we went 20 and 20, but I'm unsure of that. In Australia, when me and my mate Sam do it, generally we go 5 minutes cold, 20 minutes sauna, 5 minutes cold, 20 minutes sauna, and then we get booted. I'm watching a Masters. You can see I'm staying actually in a golf resort. There's a picture of the golf course, which is just behind my house. And I really want to play golf. The swelling in my knee is completely gone, so I think I'll chance tomorrow just going out to the range, hit a few balls, maybe head to the putting green and just practice a bit of putting and chipping if I can. And there won't be any tee times tomorrow, I would say, not on a Sunday. But I might chance get out and play a bit of golf next week if I'm feeling good. I know Alan doesn't really like me doing that too often, but I'll promise to get a cart and maybe I'll play 9 if I'm not feeling that great. Successful week, that's Saturday put down, so rest day tomorrow and then back into it Monday with that slight deload in on-feet volume. But I'm feeling pretty positive, to be honest. I think now that I'm set up with everything, and even though I pushed it quite hard yesterday and felt probably the ill effects of pushing it a little bit too hard, today has shown me that being out here with that facility nearby and just probably away from many distractions is going to be a real accelerator of my rehab and return to play process. Sunday morning, and I've just arrived at the campus. I'm going to go for a little bit of a walk, then I am going to do the plunge pool and the sauna again. It's a rest day for me today. My HRV is not great today because I stayed up quite late watching potentially the greatest Masters Saturday of all time. Rory pushing for his first victory at the Masters and then Bryson pushing him all the way. So they're paired together today. Can't wait to watch that later on. I also have a cheeky bet with one of my mates for 100 quid that Rory will win a major this year. Now we made the bet after the US, was it the USPGA or the US Open last year, where he missed that putt and Bryson won, and his opinion was, no, he's mentally scared, he'll never win a major again. And I said he absolutely will. He'll probably, with my coach hat on, I was like, he'll be better for this experience because he knows he can win one now, but he just knows that he needs to keep his cool, so he needs to work on that throughout the year, and I guarantee you he'll win one again. The bet was 100 quid he would win a major with it by the end of this calendar year, so 2025. So even if he doesn't win this one, I am banking on him winning at Royal Portrush in the US Open anyway. So I've been glued to it, and the group chat has been hopping off. I am jumping in the ice bath today. My swelling was virtually gone after it yesterday, and although there might be some literature out there around ice baths, plunge pools, whatever, blunting strength effects, I would say that the inhibition around my quad and my knee as a result of the swelling would do a better job of blunting strength improvements or enhancements as a result of not being able to push to intensity. Whereas if there's no swelling or residual swelling and I'm feeling good, I'll be able to push to higher intensity anyway, so I'll get more out of myself. So as well as that, from a placebo perspective, I just feel better doing them. So I'm practicing the same thing that I would preach to all of my clients, my athletes. If it's not inherently doing you any harm and it makes you feel better, then go ahead and do it as a recovery protocol. However, I'm still keeping my nutrition in check, obviously. My sleep wasn't great last night. Master Sunday today. It's not going to be amazing, but I might try and get a nap later on in the day if I can. Not that doing this stuff is going to outweigh the benefits of a good sleep environment and good quality sleep, but it's going to make me feel better. I'm going to have lower stress throughout the day, and it's going to have an effect on my actual tissue that needs to recover, so the knee, in that it'll keep the swelling at bay, and if I have the facilities, I might as well use them. Then from a sauna perspective, that's obviously going to help me to improve tolerance to training in the heat, which is going to be necessary in the next few weeks. It's also going to have hopefully an enhancement on my cardiovascular function. There may be some sort of a correlation there if I do that in conjunction with aerobic training to improving my aerobic capacity, which will then improve my health, which will then improve my recoverability. And if it improves your health, it generally is going to improve you as an athlete as well. Finished in the sauna, heading home. Plan is presentation, programming, lunch, masters. Feeling $1 million after that, despite the HRV being down and recovery score being poor. Still got 7 hours sleep. If you think that I was staying up late to watch the masters and I only got 5, 6, I still got what you're recommended, but generally I don't function that well unless I get a full 8. So I do function well, but my HRV score isn't great. I'm also going to prioritise getting to bed early across the rest of the week. I'm staying up to watch Rory McIlroy win the Masters hopefully this evening. This is the greatest Masters tournament I've ever seen. The only thing that comes close was watching Tiger win was at 2015. He won that at a canter, obviously on the back nine more so than the front, and Molinari going in the water, but this has just changed so many times. Golf is truly the greatest game there is. That shot from Rory on the par 5 where he hooked it round the trees where he was blocked out from 200 yards. The standard of golf on show is just outrageous. He dropped the club at one stage because he mishit the ball and he ended up middle of the green, 15 foot away from the hole, and made birdie. The standard of these professionals, these athletes, is just through the roof. It's the greatest viewing of all time. Fingers crossed he can do it. I have absolutely no regrets of staying up to watch this. This is historic stuff. Oh God, I hope he does it set up here in Portugal. Oh, it's a great shot. Come on.
A second chance for Rory McIlroy.
Yes! Come on, Rory! Oh man. He is gonna ball crying when he sees Pappy. He's gonna ball crying.
6 titans on the square spot.
Poor Justin, man. Justin Rose deserves to win a major, like. Man, what a player. And fucking gracious in defeat as well. I know they're good mates and all, but... Fuck. That is probably the greatest sporting event I've ever watched in my life. That is incredible. Press conferences finished, or the presentation of the green jacket. How good to see Scotty Scheffler presenting Rory with. It's quality. There were a few tears when he met his wife and he met Poppy, and then he started talking about his parents. Fucking hell, like, this is why we love sport. This is the pinnacle of sport. It hits you right in the feels. You don't even know this fella, but like, he's a real person and he feels emotions and you feel emotions for him. Like, it's such a weird thing, but like, this is why we love it. This is why it's my job. This is why I dedicate my life to it, I guess, for moments like that one. And that is a once in a lifetime type moment that will never be seen again.